application, right? We have two types of applications. The one is custom application and console application, right? So, what is the permission that we needed to create a console application? What is that extra license that we need to have?
It's a Service Cloud user.
From where you can enable this?
Uh,
From profile.
This can be enabled at a user detail page. This can be enabled at a user detail page. So you need to navigate to user detail page, setup, users. In the user detail page, you need to modify. Not on the profile. In the user detail page, you need to modify. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, see, Salesforce, whatever the data we are trying to save in Salesforce, will always refer as a objects. In Salesforce, we refer the database objects. I mean, tables are nothing but objects. How many types of objects we have in Salesforce? There are objects which is provided by Salesforce, which are standard. We can also create a new, which are custom objects, standard object and custom objects, right? So accounts, contacts, and opportunities, these are provided by Salesforce from an out-of-box functionality. We generally say out-of-box. These are called standard functionalities. So we need to understand what we can able to do with the standard functionalities. Now question is that if I don't need my opportunity, can I able to delete my opportunity? Am I allowed to delete my opportunity object, which is provided
No,
by
I think
We cannot delete, but we cannot disable for this particular application, right?
Okay. So we are correct that we are not able to delete our standard objects, but we say that you are not allowed to edit, but you are allowed to customize your standard objects. So I just wanted to understand what is the difference between the customization and editing of the records. You can we can customize account object because it is a standard, but you can't edit. Now, what is the difference between customization and edit? Both are same or two different things? So let's say I just wanted to do something with the account. I'm in account. I need to create a new field. I wanted to create a new field. These are the fields. So if I want to create a new field where I need to modify, I need to go to setup, build, customize. Because these are the standard objects where you can able to customize. So I need to customize accounts fields. Let's say I'm not allowed to edit the fields available in a standard fields. See, let's say if I'm trying to edit, nothing is can be modified. So I have an option to edit, but I can able to enter only data. Provide your account number. So I can able to modify only the help text, not a field label or a field name. I'll not allowed to edit, but I'm allowed to customize by giving add-on like help text, just an help text, like a to give a more information to end users. Clear? So here what we are doing, we are not allowed to edit, but we are allowed to customize. But what about custom fields? You can see there is no delete field, right? You have a delete field here. I mean delete action button. We don't have a delete action because these are standard fields. When it comes to the custom fields, you have an option called delete. You can able to delete the fields which you don't need it. Hello? Hello?
got it. Got
Yeah.
it, Deepak.
Now, let's say we'll discuss more. Can I able to, this is a tab, right? We can able to customize, let's say, if I have this one, and now I need to modify this account name. I don't want to see account name. I wanted to see as a company name. You understand? Now, whenever the user is trying to fill any information related to account, instead of displaying account, I need to display this account as a company. If I click new, instead of displaying account name, I need to display company name. So here I'm expecting some enhancements on standard functionality. I need to customize the output. So here Salesforce is also providing you can rename tabs and labels. This is only for a standard objects. This is only for a standard objects. You have an account here, right? Tab name.
Yes, Deepak.
Where I went to setup. I selected rename tabs and labels. I'm modifying my account. So now plural name is your tab name. Okay. Company. Next. Instead of account name, what I needed? I needed company name. Say. Now see the difference. This is actually an account, but for a user experience, now it become company name, right? So we have we modified anything in the account name? We didn't edited any account field labels, right? We manipulated from a rename tabs and labels. We customized the solution than editing, than changing. Rename tabs and labels. Reset. Again, it would be confusion later. Now, what is these fields? Let's say, what is account name here? Account name, parent account number, all these are fields, right?
Yes, Deepak.
All
Yeah.
these are fields. So let's talk about if we are talking about a database, how can I address this? All fields are nothing but columns in my table, right? All fields are nothing but a columns in my table. How the table will be defined? We have a columns, header columns, and we'll be having a rows as a records, user inputs, right? Here also same, instead of having a legacy table, we are using as objects and we are using web form to input user data. Web forms in the sense always they have a form and they will be having some set of fields we need to provide information and it will be stored as a record. We don't say it is a row, we'll say it as a record because we are filling a forms. So Salesforce we are using objects and records. So whatever the data user is going to enter that is classified as a records and where we are storing those records is nothing but an object. It's nothing but an object. So I'm filling Salesforce. You know what is this page called? The view of this page now. Salesforce is my record, right? Salesforce is one of my account, right?
Yes, Deepak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salesforce is one of the account. Now the page, the view is called detailed page. The view, the currently whatever record, I mean you are seeing information about this in account, then this view is called record detail page. This view is called record detail page. These are the records of the current object and these are the records are called related list. What is related list? Let's say I have an account. Account can have its childs like contacts, opportunities and all this. These are the child records. Those are referred as a related list. In one page you have two sections. One is current record details which is called detail view. In the same section you will be having second part related list which is a child information for the same object for the same record. Child information for the same record. So what is this view called? Account detail page because we are referring which detail page we are referring account object. So we'll always say account detail page. Account detail page. If I'm editing this record, then we'll refer as a account edit layout. Whenever you are editing any record, then we'll say that edit layout. Account edit layout. Clear? There and here is yeah. Now understand difference. Why I'm saying two different things. Now whenever editing, I have information like address information. additional information and description information. I have sections, right? Account information, address information, additional information in an edit layout. But in a detail layout, I don't have those sections, see? Yes or no?
Yes.
This is why we need to remember this key term saying that detail page means user opened record to view the information. If we say edit layout, it means that user is trying to edit a record, then he is getting a different view. We are working in the same record, but the mode of operations is different. One operation is just to read, the other operation is to modify something. So whenever you are trying to modify, that is called edit layout. The one you are seeing an information, reading an information, that is called detail layout. Clear?
Yes, Deepak.
Yeah. Now, in an edit layout, I wanted to get the same sections in my detail page also. I wanted to get same sections in my detail page also. All you need to go to the edit layout, setup. Now go to customize. Now go to customize, accounts, page layouts. Here we have too many page layouts, right? We have so many page layouts. I don't know which page layout we are using. So click on page layout assignment. My profile name is system administrator. My profile name is system administrator. Which layout it is assigned to me? Account layout, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Click on this account layout. Now we have a sections here. Now you can see address information, header visible only on edit only. So it means that it is not available in D. When you hover on the sections, you will be having a setting symbol, section properties. Click on it. Now you can see display section header on detail page or a edit page. If you select detail page, then it will be available in both places. You are here, same detail page. This is how, even if you have a sections, you can classify in which layout you need to display that segregations. Now if I click save, I modify. Now go to accounts, Salesforce. Now you are getting this section information, right?
Yes, got it.
Where you modified
Yes.
this. So before, what is the functionality that implemented? They enabled sections only for a edit layout. They disabled for a detail layout. Now what we did it? We customized the solution saying that we enable sections even for a detailed page layout, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, how many applications we have in Salesforce? Categories of applications, two categories, custom
Two
and
categories.
console application. How many types of objects we have in Salesforce?
Two.
Two, standard and
Standard.
customized.
Now, how many categories of objects we have in Salesforce?
Two,
What are those two?
standard and customized.
Again, you are saying same thing. Alright. So let me tell you one interesting story. If I go to setup, profiles. This is a profile, right? Let's say, do you think that these are records or something else for a profile? Analytical cloud integration, these are the different rows, right? Hello?
Yeah.
Different types of profiles, right?
No, profiles in the sense, you just assume I'll open my account table. I will open my account table. Here also I have record by record, right? With a
Yeah.
little more information. Here also I am looking the same. There is nothing different. You can see here edit, batch details. Otherwise I will go to contacts. That would be good. All contacts. You have edit and button contacts and row 1, row 2, record 1, record 2 and all entries. Here also you can see the same. But yes, you have a clone here, but you don't have a clone there. Now, even profiles also a object. Even profiles is also an object. All your profiles are a records for them. But are you using profile in a configurations on your business process management? Profile, we'll use profile for a security, right? For organization security in our business, right?
Yes.
To set up your organization, you are using profiles. To set up your organization, you are using profiles. To set up your users, you need to create a users, right? Like that, whatever the configurations you are gonna make in the Salesforce, those will be considered as a setup objects. Those will be considered as setup objects. What is that object? Setup objects, which are talking about metadata. Metadata in the sense the business implementation, automation process. It could be like a workflow, email alerts, or whatever the configurations you do for a users for a business, that it will be considered as setup objects. Setup objects. The other one is called non-setup objects. Non-setup objects are something like which will handle user informations like user records, user details, and the customer details. Those nothing but the value of customer details like the contacts. These are not a configuration purpose, but these are my user information, right? This is my bot team is my user. I mean, it's just a contact where I can able to reach to a person. But when I have a profile, from a profile, if I have anything, it will helps to secure, it will helps to maintain my security of the organization. For a setup, for building a organization, I need a profile for a security. Once the organization is done, to run a business, I need a data of an user. All your standard and custom objects are referred to be considered as a non-setup objects. All your standard and custom objects are referred as non-setup objects. What are setup objects? Setup objects are the one which helps to configure. I mean, whatever the administration or configurations you do in Salesforce, which will be considered as non-setup objects. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So, could you please repeat it?
So there are two types of objects. One is non-setup and the other one is a setup.
Yeah.
So non-setup is like objects like accounts and contacts.
Yeah. Both standard and custom objects, which handles
Custom
user data.
Yeah, which handles user data.
What about setup?
Setup will be administration objects. What we set up like security
Whatever the
profiles.
implementation, whatever the configurations or whatever the business process will write for a requirements for the business requirement, that will be considered as a setup objects.
Okay.
Okay.
Configuration.
Yeah, exactly. So again, I can give a blind spot. Whatever I can gonna create a record after clicking setup. If I want to create a workflow, new workflow rule, I need to go to setup and I need to go to workflow, right? Workflow rules. So now I need to create my new workflow rule. So whatever record I'm gonna create from a setup, then those objects are referred as a setup objects. Clear?
Yes.
Hemant?
Yes, Deepak. Yeah.
Clear kada?
Yes, Deepak. Clear.
Sounds like you have a doubt.
We'll ask. I mean, in case you're telling that I don't want to.
Okay. So other thing. So I wanted to have a new custom field. I wanted to have a new custom field saying that demo manager. I need to have a new tab which is called a demo manager. So for that, what I need to create? I need to create a objects. I need to create an object. So can I have? You know the definition for a table, Sharanya? You know the definition for a table?
Yeah, set of columns and rows.
I need a definition. You are giving a structure of a table, but I need a definition of a table. So, this is a table, right?
Yes.
Seriously?
No, sorry. It's not a data. It's not a table.
When you're gonna say this is a table.
So table has columns and records. It
Exactly.
should have columns and records.
No, records is an option whether I create a table, but it doesn't really need it that I need to enter a record to just to say record table. So here, at least we need to have single column, right?
Yeah, columns and data types.
One column we need to have, at least one column. The first column is mandatory. At least one column to a table is required. In Salesforce, this column name is referred as record name. Record name. What is record name? Let's say if I go to contact, why hyperlink is coming only at account name? Why not in other fields? Have you got this down? Why account name is getting a hyperlink? Why not the other fields? If I click a phone number, why it is not opening my record? Why it is opening only on click of account name?
That's another object might be.
No, it's the same object.
Okay.
Now, as we are saying, right, record name. Every object have its own record name. Record name is the one which will give an access to get into the object. No other fields will be having a hyperlink except the record names. The first column of a table. Whenever you are creating your object, it asks a record name for the first time. That record name is only the way you can able to access your records. So how many data types? Whenever I'm creating a new column in a table, what we need to provide? We need to provide a mandatory data type, right? We need to define what type of data you're going to store, whether it is a string, integer, boolean, or right. We have to define data type, right? Now in Salesforce, it supports only Salesforce supports generic data types, that is called text and auto number. By the word itself, we understand text data type means something we need to enter. Auto number means which will generate by a system automatically, right? What is that one? Record name. What is that one field called? Record name. Let's say to create any new objects, you need to go to setup, because we need to create, and then objects. What is the field that I wanted to create here? Demo manager. I wanted to create a field object called demo manager. Now, let's say, what is the plural form for demo manager? Plural form for demo manager.
Managers.
Okay.
Demo managers.
But here, yes, plural form might be yes, but in Salesforce, the plural label is nothing but your tab name. Whatever you're going to provide here, that will be your tab name. Accounts, contacts, like that. If I provide yes, then it will be a demo managers is a tab name. If I don't provided my yes, then it will give demo manager is my tab name, right? I'm giving demo managers. Now you can see enter record name. As I mentioned, right, there will be a record name that is called demo manager name. Instead of giving, do you need to provide a full name, then off name? Let's say I'm saying that name. And we have how many types of data types we have in the record name? It supports only two data types. One is text and another is auto number. I'm creating a text. Now we have a optional features. Optional features in the sense, do you want to create a report? Report in the sense, reports. No thanks. Unified folder. Accounts and contracts. Do you need to create a report of that objects? Something like, okay, here, all accounts, end date, range, array, financial year. All times, all time, event report. Why is it not going inside? Let's say I don't know. Might be this is not my report. Fine. So if you want to generate a report on top of these objects, then you need to enable a feature called allow reports. Allow reports. Let's say what is allow activities? Let's say if I am there in batch details, you have an activities, right? Open activities, new task, new event, or if you want to create a log a call or send an email. If you want to perform these things like a follow-up task, if you want to create these things, then you need to enable allow activities. Allow activities so that you can create your reminders or you can create a reminder for someone else so that they will gonna take an actions. The track field history. What is track field history? Let's say I'm editing this account, batch details to batch details, batch Salesforce. A modified batch details to batch Salesforce. You have the track, right? Batch details to batch Salesforce. Batch details to batch Salesforce. If you want to maintain this tracking, let's say edit layout, I'll enable related list, approved history, activity history. So I was there. So if you want to track your what value is changing from where to where, that is called track field history. Track field history. Allowing charter groups, in the sense, we'll discuss this allowing charter groups little later because the users can allow to communicate from here. Users are allowed to communicate from here. Let's say I wanted to tag to this person, SFDC need an approval. So if I want to tag my account name here, say let's say account information account. So if I want to enable such functionality, if I want to enable in a charter groups, then I need to enable my charter group functionality. This we'll discuss when we are working with the charter group because it need to have more understanding. Optional features. Object classification allows sharing bulk API access and streaming if you want to do anything from it. Apex development, then we need to have enable. I mean, if you want to share your records, data security, one user to another user based on some different conditions, different business rules, then we need to enable this, allow sharing on these defaults. And deployment status, what is deployment status? Let's say if you are building anything in a production directly, but you wanted to wait, it should not open up for a users, then you need to maintain it's in development. If it is in development, what happens? Only system administrator can able to access these objects, not all users. The time you decided that it is working fine, then you need to enable as a deploy. Once you select a deployed, then only it can be accessible by a end users. But unfortunately, we don't want to worry about in development and deploy. The reason behind, we don't do anything directly in production, we do in a sandbox and we'll verify and we'll deploy. So we'll always create our objects in the status of deployed. Okay, clear? What when the settings is enabled, allow search. What is allow search? Let's say if I'm here, if I want to search, let's say star batch star, I'm searching it. I don't know batch is available. Now I'm getting my results, right? Now I'm getting my results, data results. If I want to enable this search functionality even for the object, the one you are creating now, then you need to check this one, allow search. Allow add nodes and attachments as a related list and select this launch new custom tab wizard. Clear, right? What is this one? Plural label is nothing but your tab name. Plural label is nothing but your tab name. And record name is the one which is the first column of a table. And it have two different data types. One is text and auto number. And then you need to select an optional features, allow reports. I mean, if you want to enable these objects for an reporting, then you need to select. If you want to track an activities like a new task or new event or logging a call, sending an email, then we need to enable activities. If you want to understand the behavior of a field, from which value has been modified to which value, the tracking of old field values, history of a field changes, then you need to enable track field history. If you want to allow in a charter groups to communicate to a business or a support people, then you need to enable charter groups. Deployed, yes. Allow search, if you want to enable this object, can be looked through a global search. Generally, this is referred as a global search. Even if your object are exposed to do a global search, then you need to select allow search. And notes and attachments and launch new custom tab. Now once you click save, it accepts launch new custom tab. It will enable a tab creation wizard. Now object is demo manager, tab style you need to select. Tab style you need to select, it is a required field, and then continue. Now we have two different options, right? Yesterday we discussed default on, default off, and tab hidden. What is default on? If I select default hand, what happens? The demo manager will come next to opportunities in the tab menu, right?
Yes, Ivan. Yeah.
If I select default off, what happens?
It comes in all tabs.
All tabs. If I select tab hidden, it will not gonna display. It will not gonna show up. Right? Now I'm making a default on and I'm changing, and let's say I'm making default off. So let's make default on. And yesterday's question, Hemant. Now I'm not enabling this tab for all. I'm enabling this tab only for a skills. I'm enabling this tab only for a skills, right? Now tell me, is this tab is only available with the skills, or this can be accessible from other places also, other apps also?
Only skills.
If it is in skills, you can see skills default on. I'm switching to sales. It is not available in tab menu, but as a user, do I have access to that tab?
Yes.
It means that it is available in your all tabs. Demo managers. Got it? So yesterday our point is tab application will only control logo of an application, name of application, default on tabs. But I have an access to the tab, so I can able to access from an all tabs. Right? Here I have, yeah. Now the question is, now if I click open, I click in new, this is called name, right? So now we have two different times. Let's say if I want to create a new field, say I wanted to create a phone number of a demo manager, phone of a demo manager. So demo manager is a standard object or a custom object? Demo manager is a standard or a custom object?
Custom.
Custom object. If anything custom objects, you need to go to setup, because search for an object, or either the other way you can do create. Instead of customize, you need to go to create and then select object, and then target which object you are wanted to modify. Go to this object and now create your own fields. Create new custom fields and relationship. This is not a data type, these are a generic data types. What is difference between generic data type and data type is string is a data type. Text is not a data type, right? These are the generic data types. The phone number and all the basic business validations for a web forms. Phone field, number field, percentage, and all these are a web form fields. So we're creating a phone, saying that phone. If you want to make always required, what happens? This field might be required at a page level, right?
Yes.
I really don't want to create any required fields. Next. Okay, sorry, come back. We have two things. What is description and help text? This is for developer reference. This is for developer reference, why this field has been created. This is for user tip for the field what to enter. This is for a help text. This is for a developer help text. Whenever I just came back and I was seeing phone, why there is a phone field created, then I will get a description. From description I will be able to understand. I'm making it visible for field level security. Next, save. New. Now this is a help text, right? This is a user tip for the field what to provide. And what about description? Description will be available in the edit mode. Here you will be, after opening this field only you will get to know. Who will gonna open these fields? Only the developers, right? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. Once developer will get to know, he can able to access the field information from a description. User can able to enter a provided data based on help text. Now, let's say I'm saying whenever I wanted to create a demo manager, I need to have a account selected. I have to create demo manager with accounts. I will not allow users to enter a demo manager without accounts. It means what is my sentence saying? If I want to create my demo manager, I want it to select an account. So it means every demo manager record should have an account selected. Account selected, right? Hello.
Uh,
Okay. Hello.
yes, Deepak, I didn't get it. I mean, what is going on?
I mean, whenever I'm creating a new demo manager, let's say demo manager 1, I need to select an account on which account I am creating my demo manager. Without account, I should not allow to create a demo manager.
Oh, you're telling a requirement, right?
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
So I should not allow demo manager to create without selecting an account. It means I'm talking about a relationship. So if I want to create my demo manager, I should have an account ready first. And I need to select that one. So if I want to select, I need a holder, right? And it's nothing but a one more field I needed. So again, I need to go to setup, create, objects, demo manager, and I need to create a new field. Now I need to create a referenced fields. I need to create a referenced fields. Referenced fields are nothing but three we have. We have lookup relation, we have a master detail, and external lookup. Let's not worry about external lookup because this is not for a standard object. Here you need some external objects like Oracle database tools objects. Lookup and master detail. Lookup is an optional relationship, whereas master detail is a mandatory relationship. Now, my requirement is whenever I wanted to create a demo manager, account should be selected. It means I'm talking a mandatory, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So lookup and master detail. There is so many differences we have between lookup and master detail. For time being, I'm not discussing those differences today. I mean, right now. I'm creating a master detail. Now it will ask which object. Related to which object? I need to select account. I'm creating a relation between account and demo manager as a master detail. Next. Account name. Childs can be reparented with other parent if they created. Otherwise, I'll not enable this. Let's say I'm just continue. Next. See. If I go to my demo manager now, account is mandatory. Without account, I am not allowed to create. Let's say I'm saying the first field line here, demo 1. I'm selecting my account. But actually, I wanted to select this account as instead of Bash Salesforce, I need to select the second account. Let's say I selected Salesforce, but later I realized that I don't want to select Salesforce. I wanted to select my batch Salesforce. If I try to edit, this field is become read only now. You can't modify. The reason behind child can be reparented. There is a checkbox, right? Child can be reparented.
Yeah.
If you don't check that one, it means that once the record is created with selected value, you can't modify it later. If you want to enable that modification, then you need to do with check. Let's say go to the fields again, edit account name, and then child records can be reparented. If enabled, so that you can change your account name again and again whenever you need it. Now you can see, right?
Yes.